Greetings. Welcome to day 22 of the 30 Days of Halloween. Today I'm going to talk about stuff we find creepy. This would maybe be part 2. And that would be spiders. Is there anybody who's not creeped out by spiders? Now, I realize a lot of people find them fascinating. I kind of find them fascinating too, if they are outside where they belong. But as soon as we start having spiders moving into inside of our homes, it's creepy. Everybody thinks it's creepy. And I think when I was looking around at some articles about spiders, looking for, I want to try to tell you the facts when I can, that scientists have determined, many scientists have determined, that babies are born predisposed to have a fear of things like spiders. Perhaps it's a survival instinct. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I don't know if I buy it. But but all I know is that most people are, at least as young children, afraid of spiders in the house. Now that's sort of a funny thing, but think about it, that sounds funny. Why would you be afraid of something in the house or not outside? Because outside, it's fascinating to watch. If you've ever seen a spider spin a web, it's really fascinating. And they just seem so determined. And there's a lot of stories about how determined they are. And we have experiences with that as well. But I want to say, when I was a child, my brother had me scared to death. My older brother had me scared to death of spiders, of daddy long legs. Because I think they would come in the house all the time, and the daddy long legs would be up on the ceiling, or you'd see them up on this. They're always up on the ceiling. Like, why are they up on the ceiling? That's so suspicious to me. The only reason to be on the ceiling is because they want to pounce down on top of you while you're sleeping. And he had me convinced that yes, that's indeed why they were on the ceiling. And not only that, but he wanted to give me something to think about by telling me that, daddy longlegs is really the most deadly of all spiders. It has more venom in it than any black widow spider or, ground recluse spider or whatever you want to say. But their fangs just aren't long enough or something that they can't penetrate the skin of a human, or, well, I don't know, or they don't have teeth, or they don't have something. That I could have gone all day without hearing that kind of thing. But it just creeped me out. It creeped me out. I was creeped out by it. Creepy. It's creepy. I know if you're watching me and you live in Australia, you're laughing at us because I think Australia has deadlier spiders than any place. Like, I know we don't know spiders till we have Australian spiders, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to hear about that, if it's true. But I don't think I'm afraid of being killed by a spider. I don't think that's what I find creepy about them. Like, I don't think people are afraid that things are going to actually kill them, that they find creepy. I think it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you acting so suspicious? We had a spider. My husband was reminding me of a spider that we had out in the backyard here. We have a gazebo, I don't know, maybe 20 feet from our back door, something like that. And in between, there was really nothing much. Then at one time, I think there was a brick barbecue out there. But there was a spider, this crazy spider, for whatever reason, determined that she wanted to spin a web from the gazebo to the back door. Not actually to the back door, like to the house, to the wall of the house. Like, I don't know why, maybe go in the attic, or I don't know where spiders go. But this giant, he saw this giant web out there one day. I guess he kind of walked into it, and it was just a massive thing. And it was so big that he took a picture of it. I don't have the picture to share. If I could find it, I'd love to share it. And, but it was right there. You couldn't walk without knocking it down. So, of course, he knocked it down. And, of course, we didn't want spiders to come into the house. I don't want them in the house. So he knocked down the web, and a couple of days later, the stupid web was back. Like, this spider kept putting the web back every time we knocked it down. We put it right back. Eventually, the spider gave up, I think. Or maybe a bird ate the spider, I'm not sure. But they have such tenacity. You have to admire them for that. But the fact is, they're creepy because they're sneaky. Yes, they do go up in the ceilings and going to hang down and like jump on you. They could just jump on you. Did you ever watch a spider? A spider could be coming at you and you freeze and you think, oh, it's okay. The spider starts to go in another direction. Well, that's okay. Okay. That's all right. All of a sudden, for no reason, that spider turns and runs towards you. That would scare anybody. What is the spider doing? It is so big. It has all these legs. It can go in any direction at any time. Just go to a direction. You never know where it's going. You can't tell where it's facing. And it's creepy. It's just creepy. It's creepy. When you're outside, you're okay. Inside, not okay. Now, not outside is all okay for me because there are spiders that we don't want at all, like black widows. You know, everybody knows black widows are not what you want, and what do black widows do? Black widows are not upfront about their mission. They are not upfront at all. A black widow will lurk and hide. They will lurk and hide for you. Get inside your shoe, waiting for you to put your foot into that dark shoe, and it will get you. It will hide under the logs where you have the wood, our wood for our fires in the winter. We have stacked logs. You got to be careful. What's inside those logs? What's hiding in the dark under those logs? Black widow spiders. What's hiding? I found out this when I came to California. Where do they love to hide in California? Geraniums. Inside geraniums. What is that? That is just rude. Inside of a geranium? I love geraniums, and for years and years I was scared to have a geranium. Then I was going to have spiders in my geranium. There's something about them that is just creepy. We find creepy. The idea of one crawling on you is creepy. Yes, they're to be loved. They're to be admired in the wild for what they are doing. Okay. Magically, a spider is treasured. It's treasured by many people because spiders represent this connection between the past and the future. You know, the whole idea of they spin in the web. Whatever web you spin today is what you're going to inhabit in the future. That whole idea of whatever it is the work you do now, what you build is where you're going to live, where it's going to work for you. It's going to be how is that spider going to get from one place to another on that web? You know, tearing it down, just keep building, just build it right back. Spiders also teach that maintaining balance will help you with your creativity. A spider, whatever it is that's web is made from, comes from some kind of a liquid substance in the abdomen of the spider. And it spins the silk that is stronger. I mean, we can't even duplicate it, how strong it is, proportionally to that little spider. The spider spiritually, other than helping to foster creativity, is a great connection to the spirit world. Okay, it says at the center of the web is where she connects the energies of the spirit world and works her special energy, attracting the magic into your life. It's like where you begin, and the reaching out and the building and the webbing outward of what you are making is what connects you to the world. Many people use spiders magically. Now, I have not really had much experience with spiders, but I have to tell you something. Very recently, about a week ago, I found 2 spiders in the guest bathroom here, that were dead. They were dead. They were laying there on the floor. There were no suspects. I don't know what happened to them. There was a big spider and a little spider, just laying there, dead as a doornail, on my floor in my bathroom. We don't have any pesticides in our house. We don't have any toxic cleaners in our house. Everything is very safe, very organic. Nobody hit them. The cats, if the cats would have killed them, they would have eaten them. They were laying there, on the floor, basically, just, not touched. Didn't look like they had been touched at all. And as a matter of fact, I collected the spiders, and I have them in this jar. They're kind of hard to see. I took a photograph of them a little while ago to see if I could maybe share the spiders. I should have taken a spider picture when they were freshly dead, because it was really fascinating to see the big spider and the little spider. Don't seem to be related to everything either. They don't seem to be the same kind of spider, like a mother spider and a child spider. The spider is creepy. It has thicker legs than you would think of as a daddy long legs, but it has long legs. So it really creeps me out a lot. But I'm going to keep this for a while at least, because I'm going to see what I want to do with it. A lot of witches make spider oil, and I know that, and I don't normally. I know Tequila, she kills spiders periodically and uses them for oil. She uses spider oil. She uses spider oil for binding or hexing or that kind of energy, that kind of magic. A lot of people, though, make spider oil in a different way and use it for protection or use it for a lot of other reasons. I'm going to research that, and sometime after this Halloween series is over, I'm going to make some oil using these spiders. And I'll include it. I'm going to be doing a video in the future. I have it on my list of future videos, not having to do with Halloween, but just during the regular times, normal times. Magical oils, because I do use several other magical oils that we haven't talked about, and I want to do a video on that for you, how I do that. And I thought I would incorporate a spider oil in that. I don't go out and kill spiders to do it. That's not my thing. I don't have a lot of spiders around my house, to be honest, because we have chickens, and the chickens are out pecking, especially in my bedroom area, that end of the house. They're pecking all around all the time out there, and they eat spiders. They love to eat spiders. Keeps the spider population down. And, but these died for some reason in my bathroom. I don't want their deaths to go in vain. I think we're going to use them for some magical purposes. I'm not sure what. So I'll try to keep on that. If I forget to do this, let me know. Let me know. Anyway, today we're just doing a fun thing. I found this really, really fun cookie stand at Michael's about a month ago when I was doing some shopping for the season at Michael's online. I like to do it online because by the time you get closer to the season and go to the stores, things are so picked over. And I just there was a few things I wanted to get. And I came across this two-tiered cookie stand. You'll see it later at the end of the video. It was just as cute as a bug. It's so cute. It's two spider webs, a spider web and a spider web on top. And then dangling from the side, from the top tier, is a spider. And it's just cute as anything. So I thought I would do some kind of a fun little treat for Halloween with spiders. And it was a comedy show, me trying to make these, but I'm sure they'll be delicious. I'm actually going to be using a recipe for the peanut butter cookies that I make all the time when I'm using peanut butter cookies. It's actually from this cookbook. I'm almost embarrassed to show you. It's a Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. That it is an absolute wreck. Half of the tabs are missing inside, and half of the pages you can't even see the tabs. Half of the pages are torn out and burned and ripped and stained, and it has so many so many memories, inside the stained pages. And I got this cookbook for a wedding gift a bridal shower gift in 1972 when I was getting married. And I've used it a million times. I don't use it really much anymore because I don't really have to follow recipes much anymore. But it's funny, my children, when they were still living at home, they thought this was a really funny thing that I was using this cookbook because it was a wreck. And so that somebody gave me a new edition of the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, which is lovely, and I do have it and I do use it. Except thinking they were going to replace this one, but the recipes aren't all the same. I mean, the recipes are the same, but some of the recipes that are in the old version are not in the new, and the new version contains some new recipes. It seems we don't quite eat the same that we did in 1972. But I still love it. And the recipe that I saw for this cookie was a peanut butter cookie, but it was so bizarre. I don't want to criticize, but they wanted you to make the dough hours ahead of time and keep in the refrigerator, maybe even a couple of days in the refrigerator, because I guess they were worried the cookies were going to spread out too much. And I thought, well, how odd, because I just was curious. I make peanut butter cookies, which, I'm not being that careful. Now, of course, we do flatten them with the forks. But also we make at Christmas time, we make what we call peanut blossoms. I've eaten those. They're my husband's absolute favorite cookie, which is a peanut butter cookie with the Hershey's Kiss bud on the top. And there's very little difference between that cookie recipe, which is a peanut butter cookie, and this peanut butter cookie recipe, which is the kind that you flatten with the crust things. So I was thinking, why couldn't I just use this recipe for what I'm doing here today and just not flatten it? When it comes out of the oven, I will try and put the Whoppers on it. So I'm going to try. You're here with me as I try. What's the worst thing that could happen? But anyway, I can make these cookies and make it all at once when they're, and so we'll see. We'll see. So it's such a simple recipe, I'm embarrassed to even share it. It's basically a half cup of everything. I start out with a half cup of butter, which is 1 stick of butter I have here in my bowl. I'm trying to soften it a little bit. That's why I already have the bowl, because I didn't want to make a mess. And but before I continue with those ingredients, I want to do all the dry ones and get the dry. When I make a cookie, I cream butter and the sugars, and lastly I add the dry ingredients, which is the flour and leavening agents and whatever seasonings if there are in them. This is very simple. So I already have my flour in here. It's 1 1/4 cups flour, and to that I need baking soda. Baking soda comes in the little yellow box, and I need 3/4 of a teaspoon. And I want to make sure that I don't have lumps and I'm not sifting. So I'm kind of flattening it with my finger. There's 1. 2. And yes, my hands are in it. My hands are all over my cooking. I'm not cooking for you. Don't worry about it. There's 3. And then I need 1 measure, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And this is kosher, and this is coarse, and I know you're not supposed to use that. I use it for everything. People are so particular. I don't care. It's a cookie. You're going to like it. It has sugar in it. It has peanut butter in it. It's going to have a Whopper on top. You're not going to care. You're not going to care what kind of salt is in it. The salt's just a little bit. It helps it to brown a little bit. That's what the salt is for. And it just, if it didn't have any in it, you would notice the taste. So it tastes fine. Okay, so there's my dry, all ready to go in last. Okay, so to this butter, now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Rearrange a little bit. I have pre-measured it because it's a sticky mess. You don't need to see me do that. There we go. I look unorganized. It's because I'm trying to get stuff on the camera. So I have 1/2 cup of peanut butter. in my bowl. Try not to make a mess. This is just regular peanut butter. I try not to use peanut butter that has a lot of sugar in it. I like natural peanut butters the best. But in this case, this is just plain old, I believe, Jif. I think plain old Jif peanut, Jif? I don't even know. Jif, is it Jif? Okay. So we have that. We're gonna put that. And then my sugars. I need white sugar. Ugh. I need a half cup of that too. Half cup of white. And a half cup of brown. Now, you can, the recipe calls for you to cream the butter and the peanut butter first and then add the sugars and cream that. But since I'm using this on camera and I don't want to make a lot of noise, I'm going to have to edit. I'm going to put my butter and my sugars together. It's not going to hurt anything. I've made enough cookies to know I ain't going to hurt nobody. It's still going to be good. If I was making these for a gift, I would do it properly, but I'm making these to put Whoppers on. It's nothing important. So this is going to be noisy. I will edit this out so you don't have to listen to it too much. But I'm just trying to get this all creamed together. I have that blended really well, and now I'm just going to put in 1 egg. And a little bit of vanilla. It says what? 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I've never measured vanilla in my whole life. So I just pour some in. You just pour some in. Okay. I'm going to blend that up and then I'm going to add my dry ingredients. Let me mix this a little real quick. Right. I'm trying really hard not to make a mess on my table where I have to do everything else for this video. Okay, and now here I have, remember, 1 1/4 teaspoons of, 1 1/4 cups of flour. That's all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add this. I can add a little bit at a time if I want, or I can add it all in, not going to matter. And then I'm just going to mix it up, and that's it for the dough. It's as simple as that. I wish it was as simple not to make a mess. I have it mixed. The object is just to get it mixed until you don't see any flour. And that's it. You just want to, it should be all right, but it holds together. It holds together. And that's the idea, because we're going to be making it in balls. We're going to roll it into little balls, just like so. Let me clean this up, get my baking sheet, and we do not need to grease it. No grease needed. So this is pretty simple stuff. I imagine you could buy peanut butter dough. I don't know if it comes like in a tube like you can buy the other kind of dough. But for that matter, for this recipe, I don't see any reason you couldn't use like the slice and bake kind of refrigerator cookie dough. It's just after they come out of the oven, you want to add your Whoppers to that. So any kind of a cookie, I think, would work underneath that way. As a matter of fact, yeah, I would just think you'd want it kind of warm because you'd want the top to be kind of soft. You know, when you first take a cookie out of the oven, the top should be a little bit soft until it cools. And at that time, that's when we want to add the Whoppers. Okay. So I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to clean this up. And then I'm going to cut here. I'm going to clean this up. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to roll them in balls, get them in the oven and bake them. And then while we're baking, I'm going to take my Whoppers. We just got a little box of Whoppers here. And I'm going to divide them according to the directions into the bigger ones from the smaller ones, in case they're not all the same size. Mine like to be all the same size, but it doesn't matter. But if there are larger, some larger than the others, I'm going to divide them up so I have smaller ones and larger ones. Because just like when you make the peanut blossoms at Christmas time with the Hershey's Kiss, you have to be all ready. Those kisses have to be unwrapped and ready to go on the cookie when it's time to put them on the cookie. Or you've ruined your cookie. Well, in this case, we want these Whoppers to be ready to put on as soon as they come out of the oven, when they're still warm. Okay, so I'm going to get these divided up before my cookies probably even go in the oven. I'm not sure. They're going to bake for at 375 degrees. It says for 10 to 12 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to watch. My oven is kind of cranky right now. As a matter of fact, I have two ovens, a double oven, but my top oven is not working properly right now, so I'm going to put them in the bottom oven, which I don't usually bake in, so we'll just see. I'll let you know how long it takes. But the recipe takes 10 to 12 minutes at 375 degrees. I'm just forming these in about 1-inch ball. That's what it says. I don't know what that means. This is what, about this is a little bigger than I make normally for peanut blossoms because we like more Hershey Kiss to cookie. If you make them a little smaller with the Hershey for the peanut blossom, you get more cookies. But I think these are about 1 inch in size. I'm going to try this pan and see when I bake it how much it spreads out. But it says ungreased cookie sheet, which they mean that because, you know, peanut butter and butter are very greasy. So, I'm going to just, and I'm just doing it with a spoon because, anyway, they seemed very worried in the instructions that I read to make sure these are exactly the same size and shape. Well, you know, these are homemade. These are homemade. Don't be ridiculous. You want them to look homemade. Even if you use a cookie dough that's pre-made, you want them to look homemade. So I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'm going to try it for, I'm going to set it for like 10 minutes and look, and then I'll let you know how long that took. And then in the meantime, I've tried to divide up like a dozen of each of my Whoppers into the smallest ones I can find and the largest ones I can find. My box was suspiciously made of all mediums. You might have a more variety if you got the big box, but I was going to have a great big giant box of Whoppers for my husband and I. As it stands, probably the rest of these are going to get frozen. But yes, I found out you can freeze Whoppers, which I'm not sure why you would, but I don't want to eat them. I don't want to sit here and eat a box of Whoppers because I do like them. But you never know, in the middle of the winter, you might just think you're going to die one night if you don't have a Whopper, and there they'll be. So anyway, we'll see what happens because we're supposed to divide these up into smaller and larger because I guess the smaller ones are to be the head and the larger ones are to be the body of the creepy spider. So I'll get these in the oven and I'll show you what happens when we take them out. I think while I'm waiting, I'm going to roll out some of these other peanut butter cookies and make some just regular peanut butter cookies out of those. They can go into my freezer. Sometime when the kids are here, we'll have peanut butter cookies. And for those, I'm going to put them in, roll them in some sugar. That's what we do. This is the same thing we do when we're making peanut blossoms. We roll the balls in some sugar. And you can see me do that. And then that gives them a nice little crisp coating. And then, when we put them on the cookie sheet, we just take a fork and we just push down a little in that direction, a little in that direction, making like a crosshatch pattern. Just a standard fork that is characteristic of a peanut butter cookie. Such a simple recipe, such a basic old-fashioned recipe. So delicious. I'd rather have this any day than one with than a cookie with a Whopper on it. I have to say, I want to tell you a little story I was watching last night. The Great British Bake Off, whatever that is, in the tent. I love it. I don't know what season this is, but I've been following every season. I really love watching it. But last night they were asked to make brownies. The one I watched, the episode I was watching last night. It was the biggest, pardon my expression, clusterfuck that I've ever seen. My husband says I sat up in bed, woke him up. I was yelling because out of the 8 bakers or whatever that were baking, not one person made a brownie that was edible. They were doing the most horrific things to brownies that I ever saw. I'm against a crime. It should be a crime against humanity, what they were doing. You know, there's nothing more delicious than a simple brownie. Some people like nuts, some people don't like nuts. That's your business. Doesn't matter. But they're still delicious. You underbake them a little bit, get them nice and chewy, nice and gooey, chewy inside. Not one person. They were putting the most horrific toppings and ingredients in these brownies than I've ever seen in my life. You know, there's nothing wrong with things just being simple and plain the way they're meant to be. Now I'm getting a kick out of doing these cookies. I think it's going to look cute with the spiders. I understand if you're going to do it for kids, you're going to do it for trick or treat, a Halloween party. Maybe not this year, but another year. Have a recipe like this for another year. That's fun. You know, that's fun. I can see that. But I think on my tray, I might have some that are plain, as well as some that have the spiders, because I think that's even creepier. That the spiders aren't on all of them. The spiders are on some of them. But that's just my opinion. We'll see. Maybe I'll have spiders on none of them if they don't work. But it doesn't matter, because I still have that really cute little cookie tray. All right. When those come out, I'll put these in. And then we'll have some regular peanut butter cookies. Okay. They smell good. Okay, it says to put 2 Whoppers on the cookie. And it says press down one slightly lower to make the head. So that's what I'm doing. Pressing down a little lower to make the head. They don't look like much now, but I think once they get the legs on there, they're going to look pretty good. There's that. Slightly lower to make the head. I think these are going to work. Now, if it doesn't look like it's going to stay on, I think when you put the chocolate on for the legs, is your opportunity to put a little extra chocolate there to make the glue. It makes like a glue to hold. I don't know. It's really something I'm not used to doing. But it kind of is cute. Okay, now we're just going to let that sit for 5 minutes, about 5 minutes. And then we'll take them off and put them on a cooling rack. When they're completely cool, we'll add the legs and we'll add the eyes. And then they'll be all done. Nailed it! I don't know if you ever saw that show on Netflix, or I think it's on Netflix. But that's what I feel like I was just doing. Giving a simple task that kind of a mess. It's horrific. It's scary. It's scary spiders at Halloween. This is the true scariness of spiders. I tried to hold up some before to show my husband what I did. And they're not dry yet, and they messed him up, but I think I'll try to get one. Hold it up. I don't know if you can see it. Not very good. There's the spiders, the eyes are kind of cute little spider eyes in the front. I don't know, can you tell? But I don't know, I think they'll be cute. I think they'll be cute. I don't know. But on here, this is what counts. Because this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. This plate, spider web, two-tiered spider web stand. It's lovely with this beautiful little black spider. This is the cutest thing. This was worth it just to make these. But anything would look good in this. Anything. Little sandwiches. I got this at Michael's. Oh, I don't know, about a month ago, and I got it online at Michael's. You know, I bought it from online because in the stores they sell out really fast. But I want to tell you what I did. I wasn't able to show you me putting the legs on, but I melted the chocolate. Let me move this aside so I don't mess it up. I melted the chocolate. I got these things. I just bought these. I got them from Amazon, and were two in a package. Two little pens. They're like decorating tools, they're called. And it was ridiculous. They came in a Ziploc bag, which is cute. But then each one inside is in another plastic resealable bag, which is really stupid. That irritates me. All the plastic. We have to have plastic on plastic on plastic on plastic. But if I could figure out how to open it. I'm losing my light here, so I can't see very well. There we go. But I wanted to show you how this works, because I think for normal people, this might be a pretty cool thing. And there's a lot of them. This just happens to be a 2-pack. You can buy it individually one, or you can buy it in a big kit. But it's plastic, flexible plastic. And it has this plunger inside. And you melt your chocolate and put it in here. I'm thinking it might be better if you could melt. I'm wondering if you could melt it, since you did such a slow temperature. If you could melt it directly in here. I'm going to try that sometimes if it happens. Because transferring the melted chocolate into here was quite challenging. I stood this up in a little glass, which helped. But anyway, the idea is you put your melted chocolate in here, and then you put the plunger in. And you push that down as much as you need to get it on top, so that the chocolate is all collected in the bottom. And then you just squeeze. You squeeze and write like a pen. So you can get see it has a nice little thin point so you can make the fine lines that are necessary to make the legs, the fine legs on the spider. They're supposed to be. But of course, I have arthritis in my hand. It's really bad, and that was a little difficult for me to squeeze. At the beginning it was okay, but after a while I sort of lost my squeeze. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I think if I practice, it would be better. I'd never done anything like that before, so it was doable. But I wanted to tell you, if you want to make anything like this, I'm pretty sure that you can buy chocolate. You know the little tubes of decorator icing that comes in the grocery stores. I'm sure you can buy a little tube of chocolate icing, decorator icing that would be slick as anything. And that's just, you don't have to mix it or melt it or anything. You just do it right from the tube. I think that's what I would use in the future. But anyway, this was cute. I wanted to use something like this because I have chocolate chips in the freezer all the time. And I like a semi-sweet or a bitter sweet. I don't like the real sweet milk chocolate normally. So I thought I would do that. But anyway, these were fun. These are fun to do. This is not my thing. I do have like about, 3 dozen beautiful regular peanut butter cookies for my freezer for when my kids come, or to give to my grandson, or to eat when I'm wanting a cookie, let's be honest. Cookie for tea. But anyway, thanks for watching. This was kind of fun. And I'll see you tomorrow.